Well, Keith, you hit him well yesterday. Congratulations on your best bet, paying out $9.80.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had 9-1. I was shocked.
right.
Kieran off the claim, a horse that's run really well. That's we're talking about Indian Lake
Yep.
over this course, and definitely an anxious moment or two coming past the 3/16 pole. Looked like Arden's Lucky to Be was gone,
Right.
but Lopez was able to dive inside, and the horse responded to some left-handed encouragement and really determined to get up through the last like 70 yards. So great effort there. Yes, we got a little lucky with the price. I didn't think we were going to get that, but we will take it. Late pick 4 came through for us again,
There we go.
429 for 20. So let's hope you've been kind of tagging along with us the last couple of days. If so, we're doing okay. So we're going to try to keep
Yeah.
the ball rolling.
Absolutely.
Kelly, I don't have anything like like we've seen the last couple days over last Sunday into yesterday, Friday, Saturday. It's kind of a, as I call them, kind of jab away, and hope some things add up and work out a little bit of a knockout punch for you. That's how we're going to approach the card here. Belmonte up at Saratoga.
No, I definitely agree with some of these races. It can kind of be a little bit of anybody's race. We've got a couple of really interesting, good handicapping races here today, and we will dive into that after we take a look at what's going on right now. That turf is looking nice and green and looking pretty firm, as well as the fast track.
Yeah, beautiful lush turf course right now. Track is fast. You could not ask for a better day for live racing. Low 80s, I think, when it's all said and done. Please come out and join us and take part on this great card on a great Saturday here at Laurel Park. We talked about it as well. Belmont later on, I think post is, 620? Did I see that right? 621, something like that.
Let me just
yeah,
take a
but
look.
we ask
really
you all to
quick.
kind of get here early, bet, and just keep on betting, hang around, and make it a real long day of it.
No, super long day. They kind of already attacked it. Post time for Belmont is going to be 6:41.
Oh, 6:41. Okay,
6:41, and our last race is a little bit earlier than that. So we have
Okay.
all of the entertainment for you here locally, just to get things going and get ready for the nice Belmont day. They have a nice card up there in New York. But let's go ahead
Yeah.
and dive right into our card in this maiden claiming 30,000. 4.5 to start off this early pick 5 for these 2-year-olds. Scratching the number 2, Serrata 6. Keith, you have the number 6 on top, as well as I do. Freedom Stance, Anthony Ferrier, Arnaldo Bocachica.
Yeah, early money right now. 1 ace is 7-5 on the line. You talked about scratch the deuce. Again, races 1 and 3. We've got 2-year-old races. They're both, to me, a little bit of head scratchers. I don't have a great feel for either, but I go from a breeding standpoint. Some trends of these trainers haven't been great. First maiden claimers, first time out. Hammy and Ferrier. So, but I'm going to hopefully buck a trend here. The 6 Freedom Stance. By American Freedom, only about 11% with the first-time starters, but a full to freestanding. There's some other quick horses within this family. I think this one has had 3 other runners. This mare, 1 win, 1 second from the debut runners. Good, sharp workout at Charlestown. Bringing in Boca Chica. All systems go from the outside. Hopefully we get it done in the opener with Freedom Stance. I think Fear Nothing's interesting as well. You've got this one in the mix for Hammy. So pick things up in the recent work by a stallion that gets you a first-time starter to win right off the bat. 15%. This mare, bottom side, 3 for 15, did win her debut, albeit on the turf. Lone Sibling did well at Timonium at the shorter distance, so I like that as well. So 4-6, 6-4. I'll key around those 2 in the opener. 5 really didn't get involved at all at Churchill, but you get the late-breaking blinkers on. Wasn't on the first set of PP, so yeah, I don't know. Ace has had 2 troubled trips and 1 decent one in between the race here at Laura over the slop against the right kind. Studley do right. I think he's going to probably be right out there towards the front, if not on the front, but. I got to go for a little bit better price.
Why not? 6-4-3-1 to go through that first race to kick off that early pick 5. Now on to the start of the early pick 4 and claiming 20,000, going a mile and 16th on the turf for the girls, 3 and up. Scratching the 1, cover the spread. The 3, Please Marry Me. You land on the number 5, Catch the Kitten. This is going to be for Stephen Keel, Johan Rosado. Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort from last weekend back here at Laurel Park.
Thought this was really, really good. Interesting fig is 63, so that tops out for her turf efforts. I even thought it might have been a little bit better than that, and we'll get to it, though. She sits off the duel, relaxes beautifully here under Gomez, makes a sharp inside move past the 5/16, works outward. Mama's Lino to the front right here, and she doesn't really give up. Catch the Kitten just a little too good, leveling off through the final eighth of a mile to win going away. That final time, 1:41.2, with the rail setting out at 87 feet, was only a tick off of Riccio the next day.
Oh, okay.
So, Riccio's number, I'm sure, was much higher from a buyer's standpoint. Sharp, ears pricked under the wire. Little scratch of Please Marry Me, I think, might hamper Catch the Kitten a little bit, where it might help Crimson Princess, your top selection, because I think she's got a little bit more tactical speed on the drop. But I'll take the shot again. She's going to get that inside-out trip, I believe. Catch the Kitten a little bit better price as well than Crimson Princess.
No, and you'd have Crimson Princess underneath. Hazelmore Beach for Joanne Schenkel with the blinkers on. That's been something that's been working, and in a very short sampling for the barn. And to add to that, Seafarer for Antonio Machado. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call.
I think Hazelmore Beach and Catch the Kitten, they'll be the two I key around. I'm not going to leave out the 10, but hopefully get a little bit more value here from that standpoint. But Hazelmore Beach, yes, doesn't want any part of a fast main track, it looks like. Freshened up, back to the preferred surface. First time in this barn on the turf. That try, most recently, we got to go back to November. Behind Lakeside Getaway, who ran second, just was in front of her neck. 78 next time out, winning a other than New York bred. So she's faced the right kind of company, has Hazelmore Beach. I love the trip that she's going to get from just off the pace.
There we go, 5-10-6-4 for Keith Fustel there in race number 2. Race at number 3, we get back to the maidens on the dirt going 4.5, but this time it's for the 2-year-old fillies, and no scratches here. Keith, you have the number 3, Great Andre for Jerry Robb. J-Ron Barbosa gets the call with this first-time starter in the barn.
Again, Jerry Robb with all the hard ways yesterday. A little sluggish out of the gate. Tabbed that one for next time out. Finished quite well when swung out to about the 5-path. Top of the stretch, rolled up late to get second. Another race, I don't have a great feel here. I'm just kind of leaning on Rob. Sky Mesa, 14% though with the 2-year-old firsters on the top side. Bottom side, the mare did one debut, and I think some of the swings have been okay. The lone sub of the race was second in debut, late. Got a late start at 4 at Charlestown. I like the 5/8 work, build up that stamina a little bit. It wasn't blazing fast at all out of the gate, but that experience might help. A shot here with the 3, Great Andre. Don't really love anybody. The 1, Good Morning Mercy, tried to show a little speed. She bobbled, broke outward, made a little contact with an outer rival at the start last time out. Wheels back quickly, as does the Corrales horse, Map to the Moon. Looked like she wanted to kind of get involved, but just kind of wasn't completely focused. Had to check when trying to kind of get out the quarter pole. Blinkers go on. I expect a much improved performance from the 1, Good Morning Mercy. Would not be surprised for her with a good break to be up near the front.
There we go, 3-1-4-5 for Keith Fustel there in race at number 3. Let's go on back to the turf here. Still staying short though, going 5.5. Scratches in the 6, 7, and 10 in the starter optional 30,000. It also starts, Keith, your middle pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, try to keep it going here. Race 4, 2 deep. 3 in the 9. Midday Image. Where's Ray? Can't wait to watch this. This guy come
that's
back
going to be
again.
great.
Yeah,
yes.
this is a really good horse race. Race number 4. The starter, 20 or less in her last 3, or 30 down to 24. Race 5, 2 in the 7. Hot Dance off the claim. Mischief Motion. If you want to add one more, maybe 2, 3 or the 4. Italian War Cry, I think could be forward in there. And I mean, number 9 is dropping out of maiden special weight ranks. 3 deep in the 6. 1, 5, 11. I know this 14 is going to get some play here for Jimmy Toner, but one horse intrigues me. Take a break. Circle home back to the turf. I'll use that one in there. Race 7. Wrap it up with the 3, the 4, and 5. Armando R. cycling kind of back into top form. We know his style. Castle Island could be the now horse in there for Kieran. $18 ticket. You can add a couple in there if you like.
I certainly do in my Rainbow Pick 6. If we go for an $18 to $36 ticket.
Right.
I go 3 deep in this first opener. Where's Ray? Midday Image, Dr. Jeff for Kieran McGee. I feel like that barn is just not going to stop in their momentum. Race number 5, I go 3 deep with the 1, 2, and 7. Hot Dance, you and I both go with this top selection here, Keith. Why not? And in race number 6, I do play with the 14. Mackenzie's got this one on top. I loved how this filly went. There's just a lot of information that I picked up from that last effort at Gulfstream Park. Race number 7, I agree with you there. Armando R is not one, but there are also plenty of other horses not to ignore in race number 7. I do find a single in the number 2, Bolt of Orem, George A. Duarte Jr. Coming off of the layoff, this barn is hot, hot, hot first off of the layoff, as noted, and I'll get to that in the afternoon show, specifically on what horses. I've been taking a tab on his past 20 starts in the barn,
Okay.
so... and then 5 and 6 to just wrap things up. Rye Smile and Granule for Madison Myers, J. Ron Barbosa. Good effort in that first time, but you can't. It's hard to deny Rye Smile. But we are back on the turf here to start all of that here in the starter optional. 5.5 on the turf. Scratches in the 6, 7, and 10 for this 3-year-old and up starter optional group. You and I both have the number 9. Where's Ray on top? Let's go ahead and take a look exactly why in that turf sprint Preakness Day last time out.
Yeah, behind Grooms All Business in the Turf Sprint Stakes, and this horse ran incredibly good. Stumbled at the break, steadied at quarter pole. We're going to watch it here unravel right at the break, that trouble. Ends up making a good little move. Run up in between horses about 3 wide and between. Unfortunately, it gets a little tight there, 5/16 pole. We're going to see this again right up coming about to the quarter pole. This horse is going to have to check right there. I mean, everybody
It's a
else
nasty
up in front.
enough
Yeah,
check.
they've got momentum. And would have run Witty far outside. Grooms All Business, and that lighter blue cap's going to shift out. But watch this horse regroup. Where's Ray? And this is a guy, 3 races back on the page, broke his maiden for $10,000. The light bulb has gone on, not only on the dirt, the turf. He just looks like a completely different animal. You love seeing these jumps up sometimes, and you know, you're rooting for the connections. Where's Ray?
Yep.
Yes, he's maybe a little bit light on the experience of some of these other turfers, these turf sprinters in here. But, man, the ability certainly looks there. We got J-Rod. We've got maybe one other speed horse, really. I think the deal was ship the goods to his outside.
Right.
He breaks clean and gets through that first 1/8 of a mile unscathed. He's going to be very tough because I think he'll be able to maybe separate. The Kieran horse, Dr. Jeff, I definitely think will make that middle move. He'll be a player in there, but I love the grit that this horse showed after that adversity. So we're going to try this one right back for Tim Salzman. Midday Image. He's run well off the brakes in the past. He did it again the other day.
Right.
Got a good setup, and he paired up big numbers. Didn't run quite as fast in return this year, but he'll be back. Inside Out Trip is going to work with Angel Cruz.
9-3-2-8 there for Keith Fustel in race at number 4. Interested, be determined. I like how you have Suzanne's horse. I just had this one outside of my picks.
Yeah, and definitely one of my favorite trainers, no doubt about it. Doesn't have a huge stable, but man, it takes their time with these horses, gets them ready to roll off the break. There's going to be some flow in here. I do think this horse will rally into it. Don't know if he's quite good enough to win first off the bench against this group.
Right.
Exacta Tri Super maybe underneath. And by the Seashore, Trombetta just rolling along. We talked about him with these turf sprinters off the layoff. I'll be a little redundant. He's still holding. 10 for 38, 26% the last couple of years, 25 of 38 in the money off of this type of break with the turf sprinters. It's really, really tough to beat. If you just kind of wait on Tromby to do this time of year, you'll make your money.
At 9-3-2-8 there for Keith Fustel there in race number 4. Race number 5 starts the late pick 5, of course. In this maiden claiming, we're back to the maidens again. In this maiden claiming 45. This time 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old girls. No scratches here. Keith, you have the number 2. Hot Dance, just like I do for Kieran McGee. First in the barn with Tori Alba on top. But you have a nice little stat for us, Keith.
Yeah, it's a very small sample. And the reason I'm going this is because it's just recency for this barn. There had been a trend the last couple of years. He hasn't had his best success off the claim with the maiden claimers. Well, it's coming around now. He's one of the couple in a row. Last 6 months, 2 for 6, 33%, 3 for 6 in the money. ROI, look at that, 417. We called him yesterday off the claim. We're just going to keep on going here with Kieran and that whole team. You got Tori Alba. You got to bump up. You're coming back to a fast main track. This horse does not like the wet, it looks like. Turf, was really dull 2 races back. But I think the confidence, again, we saw it with the race yesterday, Indian Lake. We're seeing it again here. Hot Dance, I think, can get great position, has enough speed. You go back to the 4-back try behind Stick with the Colors, who came back to run a 61. 68 kind of figures that would definitely beat this group. She was close to her. I think she's going to like the 7/8, a pop move from just off of it.
You go also with Mischief Motion underneath and for Bruno Tessori, Gene Brusino, cutting back in distance from that effort on the 12th of May. Let's go ahead and take a look at that specific effort over at Pimlico.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite as good maybe as that race at Laurel where they threw her into the open company. You know, she won that A other than it ran pretty good with trouble. But this particular day, forcing the issue as the favorite, just couldn't quite get it done. Lukewarm for Brittany, a little too good. But 7/8, turning back here to one turn, should be just fine for this one. There's nobody in here with any kind of blazing speed. I think Italian War Cry working well, should be forward. Mischief Motion, Hot Dance, they set up shop to stalk.
Okay, there we have it. 2-7-4-3 in race number 5 for Keith Fustel. There we will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Saturday Belmont Card Day.
And they're off.
And we start the late pick 4 in the Jackpot Super High 5 back on the turf here, going a mile, just a mile for the girls 3 and up in this allowance. Scratches in the 4, 6, 10, and 13. You and I both have the number 11, Strand of Gold, here in the barn of Nolan Ramsey, Jamie Rodriguez. Nolan just getting a nice $10. It was, I believe it was 10-1 and 22 with when I get to heaven on the turf yesterday. So they got this short. He's gotten the dirt win. He's gotten the short on the turf win. Now it's time to get the win going long on the turf.
Kind of burst onto the scene right here in Maryland. I think 2 for 2.
It was a bit expected.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think coming in with the right kind of stock, and this one here, I found it tough to split. We've got the same 4. I find it really close, this particular race, but we'll give an edge this barn that's just come out firing. And I thought the 2-back try at Gulfstream against New Rome was pretty good. A little bit of a belated run, but had not a ton of flow. That leader was able to kind of dictate things on the front end. 80-76 for New Rome coming back. Might be a little bit more speed in here. I think Angel of Canterbury goes forward. A couple of the other ones offer a little bit of flow. Might set things up beautifully, and Nolan Ramsey keeps it going here with J-Rob. But don't leave out Circle Home for Dark Hollow Farm in Miguel Vera. Video spotlight of the last time this one was on the turf. Now, this one has gotten it done in a state-bred allowance race. This particular afternoon, we're going to watch the run behind Tracy Flick. Got some flow, 23-346 and change. Circles up here high and wide, 6-7 wide. Makes a really good run. That winner, a McGahee runner, came back to win a 2 other than at Tampa Bay. So definitely kind of cementing the fact that she has faced the right kind. Circle Home here, back to make a run from off the pace.
And talking about Shug McGahee, you also go with one of his take a break underneath. First time against winners here from Gahee and Boyce.
This is an interesting one, right? We haven't seen this horse off since March. Lightly raced, only 2 races under her belt. But that maiden breaking score, the transition from dirt to turf, it worked. 9-1, you got almost 10-1 on McGahee there. 4 wide, a grind to get it done. Our Dotsy has come back to run well, also in that race. The girl from Ireland was in there, the motion horse. So she beat some good horses, freshened up, not terribly concerned. That was a real good final quarter that day. Comes back and might be a little bit tougher spot, but I think Shook's going to have her ready here with Forest Boyce. Will be able to save every bit of ground before unlaunching that rally.
11-5-1-14 for race number 6 with Keith Fustel, and race number 7 back on the dirt here in the mile and 16th. Allowance optional, claiming $40,000 event. Scratching the 1 uninvited guest. So you end up, Keith, going with the number 3 Castle Island, who does in fact break from the 3 post for Kieran McGee, J-Ron Barbosa. There's not a lot to not like about this one.
I think I made up a word there. Unleashing a rally, not unlaunching a rally. But
I like that, though.
You know, my butchering of the language. It
I think
sometimes.
it's better.
Okay. Scratch an uninvited guest. So race 7 here, the 2 other than. It's another good field. And really difficult to separate a bunch of these. But Castle Island, we said it, maybe the now horse. He's kind of turned it on. I got a late reported first-time gelding as well for this one, right? I tell you, that last race was really good. Relaxed, no problem. Went into it. Good afternoon. That horse, when he's right, is pretty good. This one won clear, held firm. Has to step it up a little bit numbers-wise. But I think from the flow standpoint as well, expect this horse to move up in this barn. Maybe Maybe John the Bear is kind of that little bit of a nuisance up front. He's got some back sprint speed. He'll kind of make things a little bit interesting through that first half, 5/8 of a mile. But I think first run goes to Castle Island if he doesn't get the lead. Then he's going to have to hold off these closers. Armando R. like the run last time, had that trouble. He gets put to a ride early in these races, and it's a guy who just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Tough beat last time. Looked like he might run him down. I think he's going to be tough right back again.
There we go. You finish up with It's Viper underneath and the number 7 Martini. Martin underneath, I like that you have that. I have the horse on my ticket in the 7. I like that you have him kind of solidly under your picks. Just before I had him originally on my top 4.
Been through this condition. He's gotten through the 2 other than a good effort. Would like a little bit more flow. It looks like he's falling far back in his races, similar to Armando R. Maybe they'll have their own little match race from the 3/8 pole home. But, yeah, I'll throw him into the mix because he ran up behind Mo Visitor's a good horse. It's Viper, third time gelding here for Brittany Russell. That was a blanket finish. Couldn't quite get it done at Pimlico in the mud. But certainly an upward trend here with these figures. Paired up 86 might take one more step up, and that would put him right in the mix, if not win it. So take a shot here with Castle Island. It's got to move up a little bit. And I hope we can get a square price, 5 to 2, 3 to 1 on that one.
I think with the way the direction the barn is going, I think it's a solid go. I think we're gonna need a little bit of luck getting kind of the ideal price that you want, Keith.
Yeah.
But fair enough, 3, 5, 4, 7 there for race number 7. Race number 8 is an allowance optional 62.5 going 5.5 sprinting on the dirt for these 3-year-olds. No scratches. Let's go right to it. Baltimorum for George A. Duarte Jr. Horacio Caramano's taking a look at that last effort last year.
Yeah, this was really good. This horse, Toledo, a little bit of trouble in between horses early. Didn't quite settle the way I think Toledo would have liked him to. But he's had 2 sprints on his page now. Now, granted, back as a 2-year-old. But, man, he runs a 79 buyer in this race. We always want to project a little bit of improvement moving from 2 to 3. Finishes, I think, okay. Continues willingly. He was close to that fast pace. Yeah, that was a day 2 where closers did all right. I mean, Copper Tax ran phenomenal this day to overcome this trip to get it done. He comes back and wins the private terms and the Tessio. Certainly Baltimorum faced those better 2-year-olds. He's back now. Catahoula Moon was in there. Bucciarino was out of that race to come back to win and run a big number. Baltimorum, I think, will be somewhere a couple lengths out of it. This horse from the inside, Guardian Prince, I watched that rerun today or this morning up at Penn National. Broke a step slow. Showed a really good sharp acceleration to get to the lead and dictated good body type there as well. Guardian Prince with Tori Alba. I think he's going to go. Force of Justice, Irish Hero also there. But Force of Justice has shown a rating gear with J-Rod as well recently on the main track. So I think his return to the dirt is going to work. But Baltimorum, man, a lot of talent for a barn. Over the last year, 4 for 9. Off of this type of layoff with an ROI of 427.
You go with Celtic Contender as well underneath.
Yes.
Morning line 9 to 5, I think that's going to be coming up. Hammy Smith, Victor Carrasco. We just need to see what we saw early on in this career.
He flashed serious talent in his first 2 races. I thought he was going to be tough. Then nothing in the private terms, nothing in the Tessio. Coming back here, yes, gets a setup shot outside. We'll try to stalk and move into it.
There we go. 2-3-7-1 for Keith Fusel there in our feature race of the day. To wrap things up, we're back on the turf here in this maiden claiming 45, going 5.5 for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old girls. Scratches in the 3 and 7. Keith, you and I both go with the number 6. Rise Smile. Brittany and Michael Fergal Lynch gets the call here. Let's take a look at that first turf effort for Brittany here.
Yeah, after this race, went to the off the turf race, caught the mud, just really didn't fire at all at Pimlico, but coming back, it may look like the preferred surface as well. Another one, just a lightest kind of a steady early into the turn. We didn't pick that up into the video, but that's okay. It was just very, very minor. Then works a little inside-out trip. Splits horse's leg with very good energy. Grenwell is on the lead, battling. That's the horse down to the rail with those black blinkers and the yellow silks here for Madison Myers. This is a very good debut for this one as well, giving away ever so grudgingly through honest fractions. So I think Rise Smile with that experience, just the finish there, it was really, really strong. Getting back to the turf for this filly, it can be very, very tough.
And you also go underneath with Granuel for Madison Myers, J-Ron Barbosa. Very, very honest effort first time out on the turf.
That was good. We just saw it. There's no doubt about it. These holy bosses have been run on the turf. We had a horse last night in our selections, right? The 45 to 1 ran a big second in the nightcap. So I'm going to definitely toss that one in. Learning to Fly. Lasix goes on second off of a break. The right kind of rider to kind of rein in that speed a little bit, and Forest Boys ride the inside-out trip to a little success here in the nightcap. Steam not. I wish just run 2 big efforts for Susan Cooney coming back off the break. And they were going long. I could see her definitely up in the lead, and will stay around if she's right there battling heads top of the stretch.
A 4 for 13 in the money when shortening them back up again for Susan Cooney, so that will certainly help. Keith, let's go ahead and dive into those picks a little bit more,
right.
like your value play to start things off. In race number 2 at 5-1, Catch the Kitten for Stephen Kyle and Johan Rosado.
Now, I would have liked to see Please Marry Me to stay in there and maybe keep this 10 horse, the favorite, a little bit more honest, say from the 3/8 pole to the head of the lane. But inside out trip, I think, is going to work again. She sat off that duel rated kindly. I think that number's a little bit better. We talked about the final time. Just a tick off of older boys, experienced horses, rich yield, like an allowance type, starter allowance type. Yeah, I think it's better than what it looks.
Catch Kitten and Kyle. Best bet is going to be race number 5 and the number 2. 9-2 on Hot Dance for Kieran McGee and Toriel, but first in the barn for McGee.
He just kind of keeps giving us winners, right? We got a great price yesterday. Maybe we can get close to 7-2, 4-1 on this one here. Getting back to a fast track is going to be the key.
I was worried about Coffee Maker back in, this one was entered back on Black Eyed Susan Day, but Future is now. Faced her again and bested her. Chased just off the inside, closest aim for the leader for Mike Trombetta.
Man, her race at Pimlico was phenomenal, and she pairs it up with this. Beating Roses for Deborah, who I don't know if she's ever lost against the girls sprinting on the turf. Look at this gutsy effort, battling head-and-head for the final 3/16 of a mile to prevail in between. She wanted it. She got it. Congrats to all of the connections.
Yeah, I've loved the way this filly has developed, and the way she came back after running against the boys in the King T Leatherberry. That for me, when she ran at Pimlico, that was so fun to watch and experience. Another one that we're gonna have fun watching and experiencing is gonna be Post Time. He is gonna be running in the Met Mile just a little bit later on in the day today. 2 races before the Belmont. Of course, he's against that Post Time is at 4:52, but against Wayne Barrio, National Treasure. What do you make of this race, Keith?
This is his toughest task to date, no doubt about it. Just a little bit like last time. Gonna get some flow. What's the name of the my man from New Orleans? He's got the horse. That's the other speed. Honor the
Blazings. Nope, not Blazing.
Not Blazing.
Hoist the Gold. Nope.
Yes, that's it. Hoist the Gold will be up there as well. You know, hopefully
for Dallas.
Yeah,
Yes,
for Dallas Stewart, right? WTIX, as Rodman says upstairs. But no, we'll give him some of that flow. A Barrio to move into it, along with National Treasure. It's gonna need that. Going to try to get it done at a mile. Obviously, we're rooting for the home team.
Well, and it's going to be an interesting mile because it's coming from that new chute at
chute.
Saratoga.
Yep.
So, I mean, Brittany just said, why not? The horse has done nothing wrong. He's training great. Everything about him is just good right now. So it's a big, she thinks he's up for it. So
cool.
Just very excited. And we've been. It's great that he's staying at the mile right now, so it's going to be, again, I'm very excited. 4:52, but let's also talk about the big race in Belmont, and let's discuss that. We have a Maryland bred running in the Belmont in Mind Frame, 7-2 right now for Todd Pletcher and Mike Rapoli and St. Elias, coming in first. Going for 3 for 3 right now, but has shown up well, put in the good numbers, Keith.
Absolutely. I mean, I went back again, watched both races this morning. Just super, super impressive. The debut sat just off of pace. Yes, it was a little contested. He just gobbled up ground with a stride from 3/8 pole to the quarter pole, ran away from those guys and was able to control things, at will. So he's done what is asked of him. So this will be the test. Would not be a surprise, to me if he got it done. He's got the outer draw, but he's shown he's got positional speed. Looks like he's got that kind of a staying power, can just keep on going type. But, and Larry Johnson, and you get a chance, go to the racing biz. And, again, Frank Vespi does a great job, has a little story about Larry Johnson, how everything kind of comes back to Ranch Chick and a full Starkel within the family. Not talking about futures now in all of these horses. It's pretty good. So if you get a chance, check that out. Larry Johnson's been in the business. I didn't know he's breeding horses like 40 years. So
wow.
Yeah, he says just not trying to lose money, not really trying to make a ton of money, but trying to keep things afloat and having fun doing it. And boy, everything could come to fruition right here. He had a lot of luck yesterday. That wasn't a lot of luck. I mean, that was just talent.
Yes.
Future is now, but good things. These horses are winning really big races.
He's doing the right things. I do take a stab with Mind Frame. How do you see the Belmont playing out? It's a good race.
It is, and I'm kind of like trying to find a little bit of value. Like Sierra Leone, clearly, to me, is the horse to beat.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Right.
Peeking again at some other things, maybe a horse like Resilience looks like he's ready to pop. I thought he ran a sneaky good race in the Derby, maybe, but Sierra Leone would be my top selection underneath. I don't think I'm going to go crazy from a betting standpoint with this race. I know my wife is. She's got some bets.
What does Gina say?
Well, Sierra Leone, yes. I think she's going to use the Preakness winner as well. There was one other one. Maybe Anna Marie, I think, is another one she was going to throw in the mix. We messed up big time. She had the exacta in the Derby, but we missed it. We missed the Super. She gave me the 4 horses. They ran 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll try to do a little bit better from a wagering standpoint.
Maybe you'll listen to her for this race.
Yes.
Here's hoping. Let's go on over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right. Good luck, everybody.